Hello everyone, this is Jared, about to start a brand new game of Oxygen Not Included. It's been an update back in February. Yeah, it has been a while since I played this game. In fact, I believe this is the first playthrough I've done in 2024. So very excited to get this started. We're going to choose an asteroid that has some properties I like, and then we'll move on. Okay, so this is the asteroid I ended up selecting. It's got 2 metal rich and metallic caves that I can teleport to. It has been a while since I played this game, as I mentioned, so we're just going to keep the default properties and see how I do on that. Let's kick this thing off. Now, before I begin, I have to choose the 3 duplicates that I want to start with. Generally, always choose someone that has a strong researching ability, strong ability to dig so we can explore, and someone that can eventually work on the mechatronics engineering, but also the electrical engineering skill. So I'm going to roll these until I get different things that I like, and then I'll show you what I have. Alright, so here are the dupes that I've chose. We've got scientist with strong researching skills. We've got digger, or miner that has strong digging skills, and engineer that is interested in operating and supplying. They all are handy. Didn't necessarily plan it that way, just worked out, but they're going to get a +3 to construction. There's lots to be built early on, so that should help a little bit. Name of the colony is Eclipse. That's because we've got Eclipse here, at least in North America, coming up. We're going to mark on this mission. All right, let's get going. So just about to start, do a few things. I'm going to dig out this little critter here, hatch. Don't want the dupes to store anything in that food, since most of the food they're going to find is not going to go bad. I'm going to dig a path down like this. Let's before we actually let them go, let's take a quick look around. Get some warm patches up here to either sides of corners. A specialty room down here, some wild plants. Let's have a quick look at what geysers we're going to have. Cool steam, cool salt, cool slush, natural gas, minor volcano, and carbon dioxide and hydrogen vent. Actually, it's a pretty good selection. I'm going to play a little bit differently than I typically do. I have a couple of strategies I've thought about. We'll see how they play out. But also going to play a little bit slower. Probably going to play most of the game on medium speed. I tend to do fast. And I'm wondering if I'm going to learn a few things by just observing more of what the dupes do. So I'm going to make this a research station. Here, a bin, a door. I'm just going to pause it so that I don't have idle dupes. So this is going to be our door. I'm going to make a ladder going up and down. Dig out a spot. So essentially, cycle 1 is going to be identical to any playthrough I've ever done. Barracks and latrine. Gonna get some metal if we want to make that. Or some doors. We're going to open this area up for carbon dioxide to flow down and oxygen to flow up, because these dupes need to be able to breathe. Let's see, put a door right there. It's going to be our barracks. And right here will be our latrine. Ooh, some oxylite is in the way. Now I do want to avoid digging that out, because you destroy half the material when you do that, and I don't have a way to produce oxygen just yet. I will soon. I'm going to actually dig down here. Speaking of which, a little bit of oxygen might appear up. We can have a look at how we're doing with oxygen. Not the best. Maybe open this up just a little bit more. But getting access to all this oxylite here is going to help, I believe. Create doors so we get lots of airflow. Okay, if we want a barracks, we need some cots. Going to make them a certain distance away in case we have any shine bugs. I don't see any, actually. But I'll keep the cots away from that door just in case. Open this up so we can get some oxygen flow. Let's create a wash basin. Just pause it here for a moment. Get my tasking caught up. And if we're able to get that, maybe we even see if we can get access to some water. Because otherwise that wash basin's not going to do a whole lot. with that, we can even plan some cycle 2 activity. We want to produce our own oxygen. Do that there. Over here, this is going to be a laboratory. This building requires dirt, so we'll store some dirt right there. In order to be a laboratory, we need 2 research stations. We're going to need to generate some power. So just below the research station, this is where we're going to actually generate power. Actually, let's just change that quickly. This will need to be plugged in. Go down to our power generation room. Much more breathable. Let's dig down a little bit and make sure that carbon dioxide doesn't find its way up to our living area. Let's put a battery right there. Alright, so dupes are on break. I will speed it up a little bit. But while I'm doing that, I can do some designing. So let's make that a priority in the morning for them to be able to do that. We're going to put in some doors for a future power plant. This is going to be the manual generator sitting right there. I want to get a spot built out to access this water. Put that in right there. So there's our hatch. Hopefully to find a few more of those in these buried objects. So cycle 2, my goal for this cycle is to allow us to do some research. I'm going to put dirt in here. Maybe put a quarter of the amount. Put a pitcher pump right there. So we are generating some power for the first time. Certain doors I can have open. Lock those ones. So we can now do some research. First thing I'm going to research is a mess table. I'm going to build that just above our latrine. So that mess hall is going to need a door to get to it. Going to create some ladders there just to improve airflow. Not sure if that ladder is needed. Build that just... Actually, you know what? That technically could just be a tile. Alright, a little bit of research is going on. Scientist is taking the lead on that. We do have a laboratory, so we don't need to actually have that plugged in. So we get a little bit of a bonus. That's a laboratory. Put a second door right there. Let's get a third outhouse for these dupes. Create a few more wash basins in time as well. Let's make the priority finishing this. So we've got some mess hall tables that we can build. Do that right here. Gonna go to priorities, tell miner. Focus on digging. Scientists don't really need to do that, but I'll do researching and building for engineer. Open up our barracks a little bit. Now we're going to get a new dupe, I guess in 0.8 cycles. Let's make sure we've got a cot available for them when they arrive. Alright, so that is cycle 2. I think we technically lost our latrine. Let's make sure we get that back. in the next cycle, first thing. And we'll have a goal in the next cycle of completing a mess hall. We also need to prepare a spot for an... Oh, I was been running in fast mode. I'm only meant to do that during the nighttime. Let me take it back down. There we go. Alright, so at the end of this cycle, hoping to have a mess hall for the dupes to be able to enjoy. Place to eat at the end of each cycle. Let's create another outhouse. Don't want these to become all backed up. We are, see, half a cycle away from our fourth dupe. It's going to join us. Have a look on carbon dioxide. Continue to dig down so that doesn't go into our living area. I'm going to put a tile right there. So we've got a mess hall and a latrine. Continue to explore. Let's go up to that piece of oxalate right there. I think it is time. One of the next things I'm going to do is make a grate hall. Use a water cooler to do that. A decoration item. I'm going to make this room a little bit bigger if we want that to happen. So lots of morale bonus rooms for these dupes early on. Just going to open this up so we make sure we get airflow going on. So the other thing I'm going to plan out is a supercomputer area here with access to water. We'll close off. This will essentially be the full size of the laboratory. So we're ready for this next dupe, just about a minute away from them to arrive. My plan is to rely on food, meat, these little hatches. So we have to have a few stables carved out, and that's one of the first priorities early on once we've got the basics like oxygen production and a few rooms. So I think I'm going to put that about here. I want to have 3 stables for hatches plus an incubator. So research is complete. Let's look next thing if I want that great hall. I want a decoration item, flower pot. Gonna pause it here. Choose a dupe. If I don't, so I want someone that likes ranching. None of these dupes like that. So what I'm gonna do, save this as new dupe. Load that, and hopefully get a better option. I'll be back when I get something that has ranching skills. Okay. So here's the 4th member of our team. This is Rancher, interested in ranching skills. They also have a green thumb, so they can get a little bit of farming later on. They can't cook, but that's okay because they're going to spend all the time in the ranching business, and we'll get another dupe, probably next dupe actually, that can cook for us. All right, so we've got a cot for them. I'm going to go ahead and create the 5th cot. Actually, I think I'm going to switch the Great Hall, or the future Great Hall, in the barracks. The other thing I'm going to do is set up multiple schedules. I'm going to put 2 dupes per schedule. We'll switch that around in the morning. So we'll give bath time. Oh no, hold on. I want to offset that by 3. Give some downtime here and the bath time at the end. And at the beginning of the next cycle, these dupes are soon going to use these rooms after they sleep. We'll switch this out for the mess hall. The reason being is I plan to, at the lower section of the base, put the kitchen. The future kitchen. I'm going to have a short-term kitchen here. But the future kitchen is going to have an insulated area with a deep freezer later on. I'd just rather have that down this zone. But I am going to keep this as the latrine. Oh, we don't actually have a mess hall. But at least there's tables to eat. Hopefully at the end of next cycle, we're going to have a great hall. So happy to see a few hatches around, because that's going to be the main food supply. With some, now that we've got a rancher, or a future rancher, I'll eventually get the skill for that. So just reminding myself to set up schedule. That is something I'm a bad habit of doing, taking on new dupes, and they stay in the default schedule. We get too many dupes in that schedule, so trying to avoid that this playthrough. Okay, so let's get rid of this, switch these guys around. Let's decide who's going to go where. I do want Rancher to be set up here. We're going to put Miner down here. And Engineer as well. I particularly like Rancher there because I like knowing at the beginning of the day who to send to the stable, or to the incubator room. Let's get a little bit of space for some dupes. Going to put back here water cooler, and we'll put in. Oh, we don't have it yet. Someone has to do some research for us, some power generation. One, two, three, four. Can see a potential issue coming here. Actually, let's just go ahead and make that extra bed there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Scientist is hopefully going to get a pot for us. As long as we have a Briar seed somewhere. I see one right there, actually. Let's choose a sunny one. We'll put that over there. Making some room for some mess tables. We're going to put Briar seed in and hopefully get... Oh, here we are. I need to get this thing created so someone can actually sleep on that cot. Okay, I see research is available. What do I want to do next? Probably want to get a rock crusher, but I like to get a better battery system before we get to that point. Let's carve out a spot for where I'm going to be storing water next to the supercomputer. I'm going to design that like this. And I'm going to build a path here for my power plant. Actually, that looks like something that's going to give one of our dupe skills. Getting in early access to that would kind of be cool. So because this room has this narrow channel, I think that would be a good spot once research is done to put a jumbo battery. I'm going to start building our stables here. Because as soon as Rancher has the ability, it's going to be a little bit yet, but as soon as they do, I want them to be able to start ranching right away. Alright, so that's a jumbo battery. Next thing is rock crusher. We gotta set up an industrial area for that. Once that jumbo battery is created, we'll get rid of our regular battery hanging off the side. Somebody's stuck. We gotta get them out. Forgot how tricky these dupes can be, getting themselves into trouble. Make sure we actually have a great haul. There we are, finally. When the dupes eat at the mess tables, they are getting the +6 to that. Oh, we don't have a barracks though. Is that 64 exactly? But because of this area here, it's not a barracks. We need to fill that in. So nice thing is I've got this offset schedule. The next dupe is going to be put in this schedule, which is offset one more. And I'll set that up now so when they join, we'll be ready. Okay, so hoping this is going to be a little bit more of a relaxing experience, going a little bit slower. I tend to go fast. Kind of looking forward to trying this technique out. So this is going to be stable number 1. I'm going to make these vertical. Usually make them horizontal, just changing it up this time. I'm going to make 3 of them. Start by fully building 1 before I move on to the next. We don't have the research for it, but still want to start to carve out a spot where it's going to be. I'm going to have the goal at the end of this cycle to have our barracks reestablished. I think the next thing I'm going to research is electrolyzer. I want to start producing hydrogen for power production purposes. Okay, that means we got a barracks. Awesome. I think I'm going to put electrolyzer here, so start to carve that out. Oh, I've actually technically locked someone in. And our oxygen diffuser is also buried. Alright, research is available. We can now make a rock crusher, so we'll need an industrial area for that. Electrolyzer is going to be the next thing we're going to go after. Going to build some ladders just to mark out room locations. Typically also generally get the locavore and carnivore achievement along the way. So to do that, use some of the wild plants we have available to us. Speaking of which, 1, 2, 3, 4. That I think this is going to be nature reserve, future nature reserve. Plan that out now. Actually, that's awesome. That's really close to these rooms, so we can essentially extend the nature reserve up that way. Once we get to that point. Oh yeah, so question is, we've got this room here, and I have to decide who is going to get this. I'm kind of thinking Miner, because they've got a lot of work to do, and they're standing right there anyway, so just before I do that, I'm going to save here. And yeah, I'll just try and call that save over new dupe. Just in case I don't like the skill that they're going to get, I can reload and try my luck in getting something else. Alright, complete. Minus 20 distress. No, I'm going to reload and see if I can get something else. Okay, so after 3 times in a row, I always got plus 10 or a reduction in stress. So I thought maybe change this so you can't reload and get something different. But on the fourth try, I do have plus 10 to strength, and I prefer to have that. So we'll go with that as an option. I see someone has a skill. Oh yeah, of course, that's going to be Rancher. We're going to want to give them critter ranching, but have to give them farming before we get to that. Yeah, speaking of which, there is a couple updates since I've really done a full playthrough, so there very well could be some surprises along the way, maybe good and bad. Some things I used to be able to do that no longer work, and we'll find out if I get to any of those places. Typically don't see this neural facilitator so close to the base, but there it is. Might as well take advantage of it since it's there. Alright, did I get my pump? So I do have a pump now that I can build. I'm just trying to decide where that should be. Maybe we'll use this water cache as the pump. Water source. Gonna eventually, actually pretty soon, make this the pitcher pump. Store water right there. Electrolyzer is complete. That research for it anyway. It's gonna go right here. Probably gonna have a second one, maybe right there. But let's get the first one set up first. A little bit worried how much water. Probably not going to overflow, but just in case, I'm going to keep that so that this doesn't completely overflow. Build a few ladders down. Put our pump right there. That's going to be powered up. Connect into our circuitry. Oh, someone has skill. It's probably scientist. We're going to give them advanced research. And let's research a supercomputer. Scientists can do that while the rest of the team is doing some work. Supercomputer's eventually going to go right there. So this electrolyzer also needs power, so we'll wire that up. And we'll put a pipe connecting this to the electrolyzer. Also want to have it over here, but I think we'll do electrolyzer first, unless our supercomputer is built. Carbon dioxide is building up, so we're going to go dig down a little bit more. Vacuum area where some of that carbon dioxide can go. So this is the point I would typically fast forward my playthrough. I'm going to resist that a bit. I think that I'm going to want to do that less the more dupes that I get. Right now, there's not a lot to do but other than wait for some construction. But I think this is going to be more interesting to see what happens when we get more dupes. Let's see, there's another skill to give out. Engineer. So I want them to have electrical engineering, but I need improved tinkering first. It's going to give me a bit more time to think and strategize plans rather than just try things I just did before. Okay, so a jumbo battery is there, so we can get rid of that battery. Another skill point, that must be minor. They are going to get hard digging, so we can dig through granite now. See, number of wild thimbleweed seeds. So I'm going to heavily rely on ranching, starting with hatches, but I'm going to move to these guys, Dracos, for resources. So supercomputers built. Is there anything? Oh, right. Let's do some automation. We never built our rock crusher. I'm gonna make this industrial area. Technically, I'm gonna get rid of this. Oh, well, maybe not until we actually put water there. All right, so we're gonna have 1, 2, 3 stables. This is gonna be a power plant. This is gonna be the industrial area. Just gotta be careful not to spill water down this way. If we can drain this water out down here, that'll open up this area for my industrial zone. See how much this drains out. Alright, so that gives us automation. I think I might pause the research for a little bit. This is going to give us time to switch this out for a supercomputer. That will need to be connected to some water. Make the electrolyzer and pump the priority. Turn this to 5. Oh no! Oh, did I have? I do have a spot in a cot. Okay. All right. Suit wearing, farming, doctoring. Don't like those options, so I'm going to do reload, and I'll be back when I have something. Okay, so this is Chef. Interested in cooking. They have handy is a skill, which is what a lot of them have, or is a trait. They're going to be doing the electric grill when we get to that point. Speaking of which, we'll start carving out a spot for that kitchen for Chef to work out. We're going to take all the critters' meat that we get from these stables and turn that into barbecue meat. But they're also going to enhance some of the other food that we find because we're going to go for the locavore and carnivore achievement. So it's going to be particularly important to have someone that has strong cooking skills. Alright, let's put in... Oh, cancel that. Put our supercomputer right there. Okay, let's put in more of these guys. Saving a little bit of space here for future nature reserve. It's going to go up like that. Almost have a pump ready. So we'll be sending some water into this electrolyzer. Someone will create that for us, maybe in the next cycle. So if we're going to get this supercomputer run, we need some water. Put a pipe in. This guy's going to get... actually, maybe I'll keep that running for a little bit. Eventually, I'll make it so that the electrolyzer is the only source of oxygen. Here we are. Pump is being complete. So I've got only a spot for 5. I want to have a spot for my 6 too when they eventually arrive. We'll want to even expand. We'll have to make a second... Oh no, hold on. Technically, we have doors there. Forget about that. Skill point to give out. That is Chef. The grilling skills. Gonna put a kitchen here. Before I do that, let's put a door there so we get lots of airflow in that room. So going for the locavore achievements, I'm gonna want a micro musher that's gonna need water. So being next to this is ideal. We'll also put a bin next to that to store some dirt. And electric grill to enhance the calories. of various foods, as well as convert the meat to barbecue meat at some point. Make the setting the same as this. Put lights in there when we can. Oh, speaking of which, we need a rock crusher in our industrial zone. So the industrial zone, let's put a bin there for some of the inputs to a rock crusher. Put a rock crusher right there. That can go away. Do need, though, to connect this to water if we want the supercomputer to ever work. Now we've got to decide what the first thing. Might want to do ranching. One of the things I often can, if I can afford to, is a quick optimization of the base to make a fire pole. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. Just looking to make sure that makes sense. So I want a light for whoever's going to be running this guy, rock crusher. This will need to be plugged in. As soon as we've got a little bit of metal created from this guy, we will put automation in to be able to turn this off when it's not needed. Do the same thing up here. This all needs to be plugged in. So I'm going to store, let's say, 10% the amount that I can of copper ore. Just so it'll be ready whenever someone does some rock crushing. So there it is. Light is currently on, but there's no dupes in the area. We'll optimize that soon. A little adjustment here. Only need to wash your hands when you're leaving the washroom. Rancher is creating the first metal. So I'm going to want to have ceiling light over here. We'll also need some power. Won't actually fully plug it in just yet until we have the automation ready. First duplicate motion sensor going in. Going to connect that with our lamp. A bit more metal needed. Open this up for future nature reserve. Now, the nature reserve can't have electrolyzer in it. To decide what to do there. So anytime I've got mushroom, we'll cook it. Hydrogen's starting to bubble up, so let's dig up a little bit. Because same way that carbon dioxide can be an issue down here, hydrogen can be an issue if it accumulates and gets down to the living area. Do a quick check to make sure we still have everything: a barracks, a latrine, great hall, and the laboratory. Don't have a power plant yet, but we need more skill and tech for that. The store doesn't have to be open. Or closed, rather. These doors will remain shut because we're going to have a stable in there. That might be the next priority, is making sure we make progress on this future stable. See 1, 2, 3 hatches. Gonna find more in these buried objects, at least I hope. Start to fill these stables so we can start to get lots of eggs. Okay, how are we for oxygen? At some point we're gonna put another electrolyzer here when it's needed. Where are we? 1.5 cycle to the next dupe. So this is why I put the pitcher pump right there, so that someone can fill it up and just push it into the supercomputer without having to travel too far. Alright, so automation is sitting there on the lamp. It's going to be connected to this, so it'll actually be on when someone's in this area. Okay, I need this to be about 96. Oh, can't dig through Bissolite just yet. Have to watch that out. Be careful how these guys dig that, actually. Research, that is our fire pole. It's going to allow the dupes to go down a little bit quicker. Do that up to about right there for now. With that complete, I think the next thing is our stable research. Actually, let's even go with get the full incubator. Now that means we're going to have a nature reserve available. So we'll create some doors here, here. Now, what am I going to do? What if I did this? It would technically allow me to keep this guy there with 1, 2, 3, 4 plants. Should be fine. Gonna have to improve our power production capability. 15,000 calories. Initially, we're going to find most of our food just by scavenging, looking for these buried objects. But we do have this guy, Micro Musher, at some point. Fire pole going in. It's going to help us set up our base. Allow the dupes to move around quickly. Okay, so some of these buried objects are in the actual roof of our rooms. I probably forgot to move some people in the schedule, a chef at least. If I do this, it's not the best. Sorry, chef, for your short break. Okay, next dupe is in 1 cycle. Hopefully I'll remember to move them over to their assigned schedule. Let's take this out now. We're fine relying on the electrolyzer. So my plan is to film 10 cycles per video. So we'll get up to the 10 cycle. Actually, it would be useful to have some feedback in terms of what you think of the slower speed. Is it too slow? I could even potentially just film some of the highlights, but we'll see how this goes. I think it is going to pick up once I get more dupes. It might be a little bit slow now just because I've got 5 dupes. But once I get 10, 15, it'll probably be a little bit more interesting. I'm going to try to keep things rolling and then decide where I want. Oh, yeah, so I'm going to want 2 more stables here. There's no point in creating those yet, but I do want my incubator sooner than later. So I'll dig out a spot for that. And that's what we're currently researching. So stable 1. Path for tubes to be able to get across. I'm going to put 2 tiles here so I can get ceiling light with automation. Keep building this up. If it wasn't for the Bissolite, I'd probably just get up completely. I'm going to do a left turn to get try to get 96 tiles in that room. Outhouse out of order. Maybe we should up the priority of that, actually. Okay, I'm just going to put in a few doors just to mark out where the entrance. This is going to essentially be the entrance to my incubator room. So this is where one of my dupes will do incubating. We need another path for all the other dupes to drop off eggs into that incubator room. So that's what this path is going to be about. Hydrogen starting to accumulate. Carbon dioxide accumulating down here. I have to decide when it's appropriate to start worrying about that. Might want... Actually got more carbon dioxide than I expect at this point in the game. That may have been various bubbles that just had a lot of it. I think I'm going to even put algae right there. Deal with some of that. Chef is working a research station. Scientist on the supercomputer. Let's put tile in. No, I'll just leave that alone. It's not the priority. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just, while I find if some of these hatches, even though I can't wrangle them at the moment, they'll be preset to wrangle. Oh, hopefully I'll have actual place to put them. Actually, speaking of which, let's look at Rancher. Got that much left to go before they get the ranching skill. I think we'll be able to get a stable created by then if we focus on it. Come on, dupes, you can do it. Alright, this can be expanded out to 64. Let's put in a pass so we can keep expanding the number of dupes we have. Oh, we want to put a tile right there. That'll never get built unless we give them a little space to jump up and do that. So what's interesting about this game is you not only have to think about what to build, but you have to think about how to build it and how not to get dupes trapped, etc. Alright, I'm going to take this out because this is going to be the nature reserve once we have that tech. Oh, another dupe. Alright, almost, but I think I'm going to select someone else. So I'll be back in a second. So I am ready to take on another dupe, but I'm tempted by these 3 eggs. I'm going for the carnivore achievement. That's going to make it a little bit easier. I'm also not in a rush, as I have in previous playthroughs. It's just going to take it a little bit easy, so I don't have to push more dupes in just because. Though I definitely want to get my 6th dupe soon. But that is going to fill my stables a little bit quicker, especially with the incubator. Once that tech's available. Actually, is that the... Yeah, there it is. So we can make a stable now. Typically... Ooh, critter pickup and drop off is separate. Okay. Alright, hold on. I gotta think. Do I want... Yes, I want to drop critters off into this room. Okay. My brain's spinning right now. That I assume that's, unless maybe I've just forgotten about it, I assume that has to do with the update I was talking about in February. I'm trying to envision if there's some benefit that I can get from that fact, that split. Definitely gonna have to think about that. Alright. Let's see, 90, get close to 96, we can. I think we might just be able to make it funny shapes. We'll see what happens there. Either that or I just go left. What to do. I'll go up to say this point, and then if I need to turn left, I'll turn left. All right, that's a plan there. So 3 eggs out of the printing pod. That's nice. Because right now I think I just found 3 critters. That we're going to go find more, hopefully, these buried objects. Cycle 10's about to start. I'm thinking to myself, do I end now? Or I start on 1. Yeah, so I guess this will be the last cycle of this episode. But certainly not of this new series. All right, I'm going to make this a low priority task of putting in sandstone for the hatches once we get there. I'm going to make this a high priority task, as well as this. This is going to be for hatch. Drop off. Let's have a look at skill of rancher. Getting there. Continue up like this. Make a ladder go across. Do that just to gain a tiny bit more space. And we'll see where we are once we're there. 17,000 calories. Let's start digging out some buried objects to make sure we don't run out of food. Piece there. Can go in there for some more. Careful not to dig there, because that's one of my plow. Oh yeah, that's good. Excellent work, dupes. 2, 3, 4 still. Excellent. That door does not have to be... actually it does. Just in case I get shine bugs here, I don't want them going around this room in particular. Oh. I can make that a copper. Interesting. Put a park sign right there. That's going to be a big morale bonus for my dupes. Where are we at in terms of size? Way too big. That's because this tile. Okay. Where are we? 99. Oh, we're too big. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's do. Well, let's just do that. Should be easy enough. Hydrogen is starting to accumulate. Okay. Speaking of which, we're gonna have electrical engineer here. We want to have this available for them as soon as that their skull is set to go. Actually, let's have a look. Engineer. A little bit to go before then. But that's going to allow us to do some tune-ups on our power generation. We're going to have an actual power plant. So the plan is to put 2 hydrogen generators right there. And that'll be the end of the power plant. So we'll put a door right there. I'm tempted to fill in this next 2 stables, but I think there are other priorities. Specifically this thing here, incubator. Once the tech is ready, of course. Can this actually be built? You take that open that as an option. Just to make sure this gets done. Do that. The next thing is we want to open up their drop-off area for eggs, because what I don't want to have happen is have these eggs get stuck in there and create a crowded effect to my critters. Did that critter actually lay an egg? That's kind of cool. Oh, that's another, well, does that mean that one's old? Age 73. Yeah, so not all of these are going to live as long, produce as many eggs, but that's alright, it is what it is. Continue to look for some buried objects, 17,000 calories. Well, that is first video of this series. Let me know what you think, and hopefully I will see you in the next video where I'll continue on expanding the space. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.